Thanks for joining. I'm going to jump right in and get started. I've got the Apple Vision Pro on, and I'm ready to show you how to start using this to reduce your lube survey cost by 5 to 10 times using the Redlist and Apple Vision combination. I have used it twice on my last two lube surveys. I feel like we've gotten past the beta phase. We've got the Redlist app in here, and today I'm going to show you how you can create virtual experiences that allow you to visit your equipment from anywhere in the world and at any time. The cool thing is you can do it with just the skill set that you already have. So Apple has come out with new technology, obviously for the mask, but also for the iPhone that allows you to be virtually on site, on demand, at any time. So what your phone is doing is it's when you take video, it's automatically creating what Apple calls an immersive experience. So essentially what that means is I can take video of equipment and do a lube survey remotely from my favorite places or from my office. So let me show you this. I'm going to drag my screen over that shows you what I'm seeing now. You should see I'm looking at my screen. You've got this kind of eternal mirror going on. I'm going to spin around here. On the other side of my office, I've got 3 or 4 machines up that I need to do lube surveys on. And what you're seeing right now is just simple 2D videos, the way that you're used to seeing them. But the fun thing is that in the upper right of each of these videos, you can see the little button to switch it into immersive mode. And that allows me to really easily transport back to the facility that I was in or whoever took the video. And I can look at bearings, their sizes, conditions, orientations, and I can also listen to the audio. So as I was taking this video, I was calling out the dimensions and all the information I would need to do a good survey. So like I said, cool thing is I'm doing this from my office. I could do this from any of my favorite places in the world, or my office right now is kind of warming up, so I can actually transform it, I should say, into some of my favorite places in the world. So let me show you this real quick. Let's go to Yosemite Park and do our lube survey there. All right, and I'm going to dial it all the way up. So my entire office is now transformed into Yosemite Park, and I'm going to get after it here. I'll show you guys how I'm using this. Got all sorts of fun tools in here. Allows me to see nameplates, bearing conditions, water, contamination, size. I can see how I was using the measuring tool here to size some of these things. Anyways, powerful tool. About to show you how to do it yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and dial down the Yosemite experience, and we'll jump out and show you how I did this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen from my laptop, and I'll show you real quick the technology that's behind this. I'm not going to compare this device to Oculus or Meta or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you why I think it's awesome. So I can take video, like I said, with the iPhone 15 that will automatically turn the video into a kind of a virtual reality experience on the Vision Pro. I'm going to share my screen from my phone now and show you how to activate that. You do need the newest Apple 15 phone. I think the Pro and the Pro Max have this setting available. You've got to go to your settings, find your camera settings, and once you're in your camera settings, you got to go to your formats. Within your formats down here, there's a toggle that I already have turned on, but it doesn't come that way, to turn on spatial video for Apple Vision Pro. What that enables is when you're inside of your camera and you switch over to the video mode, when you want to take a video, you can turn on that little mask and it'll automatically create the spatial video you need to create to have the Vision Pro pick it up and kind of create the virtual experience. So I could create a video here of my room, taking a video of the door, and if I watch that video on my mask later, it's going to feel like I'm in here in the room with the mask on. So really cool, really simple, easy technology to use. The best thing is that this used to take, a team of people to create these types of virtual experiences. You have software folks, designers, modelers trying to create models of your equipment. Now all you got to do, take Apple's latest version of their phone, take a video, save it to the iCloud drive, pull it up on your mask, and you're back on site anytime you need it. So that allows you to, again, really quickly walk through a facility 5 to 10 times faster than you would if you were trying to capture all the information while you're there on site. You're just taking video, pointing out all the lube points, observing all the conditions, maybe holding up a ruler or measuring, those critical bearings. But you can get through it really quick and then do all the processing when you're back in your office. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the mask back on and get a little more detailed and show you how I'm actually faster when I'm using the mask than I would be just on site. So how is it that I can survey more efficiently remote than versus on site? When I put the mask on, you'll see that I have the Redlist app open. I'll be at the equipment virtually thanks to the Apple Vision Pro. And I'll also have open OEM manual. So let's go ahead and I will dive back into the virtual experience and pull up the view of that for you guys to join me. All right, so I'm going to be over here. I think I will actually pull up the environment that I liked as well, just so we're back in there. Dial it all the way up. Turn down the noise, turn down the sound of the snow falling. I like that, but I need to be a little more focused. Okay, so you can see I'm walking through the environment a little bit, so I'll pull these screens over to me a little closer. Okay, so I'm here in the Redlist app. I'm going to go ahead and navigate into just, we've got a bunch of dummy equipment here, so I'm going to go ahead and navigate into an asset that could use some lube charting. This is a big complex piece of equipment. I've got a single facer open. I'm just opening up a kind of a dummy one here. But let's go find some pressure roll bearings and see if this is looking right. Maybe add a few pictures to it. So what I can do is pull up this pressure roll bearing. And over here within the manual, I can also scroll down in the lube schedule, and I'm going to rotate this picture a little bit. I'm going to move it around, and I'm also going to go down to the table, rotate this view as well. But one of the things that I was looking at is this pressure roll bearing. As we looked up here, number 14 on the schematic. I can also kind of open this up, go into my immersive experience and see right where this pressure roll bearing is. I've got my laser pointer pointed down at it down there. The cool thing is I can take screenshots with the mask just by pushing a button. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that. And then I'm going to exit out of the video view, and I can come in here and I can add more photos to this thing that I've just taken. So I could go ahead and add from my library. I can pull this in, go ahead and add it. And then I can also like annotate these and do drawings. You can do it from a distance by pinching your finger. I believe you can actually even come up here and draw on it with your finger as well. I'm going to go ahead and go back. Okay, and I'll try it. I'm going to try it from back here on the other side of the room. Hold that for a second. Apple should clean it up for you. That shows you right where it needs to be, and it's done. So you got some pictures on there. Also, you've got the tasks. The nice thing is that I can actually navigate through this app almost more quickly with my eyes than you could if you were holding this tablet physically with your fingers. So it's highlighting everything. It's tracking my eyes. As my eyes move around, it's kind of like the mouse moving around. So if I want to highlight this task, I just look at it and then I pinch my fingers together. That's how you click the mouse. So it takes a minute to get used to, but I'm actually clicking down here. I'm doing this action down by my side so that I don't have to hold my hand up. And there's cameras on the bottom of the mask that recognize the action that I do. So you don't have to, actually move your hands around as much as I'm trying to show. So obviously all the different fields you need here for the tasks. I'll just jump in here and review this, what the manufacturer is recommending. They're saying a pound per bearing for items 14, 15, 16 every 4 months. So that's us. Looks like I've already filled this out, but this is where I'd come in to type. Again, you can type just like it's a keyboard. So you could say 111.5 or delete, or so I'm doing it very physically with my fingers on there, or I can just look at it and pinch by my side and pinch those buttons. And so it's really nice. You can do it either way, and then just dismiss the keyboard when you're done. And then you also have, I'm looking at the LBS now at pounds, and I could come up here and push it and have it pop open and do it. But for me, that feels like it takes a little too long. I like to just look at it, and then again, I'm clicking my fingers by my side, and I'm actually a little bit faster when I'm just using my eyes than as if I'm using this tablet like I normally would. So I think the Vision Pro allows you to be a little bit faster and a little bit more efficient just using your eyes to move around. Obviously, you can use all the Redlist functions. If there was components in here that you saw, one, for example, that I thought was really cool. One of the reasons why I like using the Vision Pro is you have multiple chances to find the lube points. I remember when I did this, I was surprised when I got to about this point, right? There was a loose fitting that I was making note of for the customer. But when I was coming up from one lube point to another, there's this grease block up here that was feeding the 2 points. But the piece that I didn't recognize while I was on site was this piece right here on the end of this rod. I figured that there should be some grease going there, but I didn't see a lube point until I watched the video a second or third time. Then I saw the lube point there on the end of it. So that's one of the huge advantages of doing it this way, is that you got multiple shots at reviewing equipment. You can go through it for continuous improvement, see if there's anything that you missed. You could use this for training as well. I also think that you're able to be faster and more accurate because you have access to all three of these documents. You can be at the equipment, using the app, reviewing what the manufacturer says, all at once without having to switch channels. I don't have to navigate from one app to the other to the video. I've got it all open here, and that's what allows me to be faster. I think the only thing I was gonna show you was that I could, if I found that missing lube point, obviously this is how you come in here and you add in a lube point that you've missed. So if you're going to be doing some bearing or some greasing or whatever, you just add your components in as you find them. So that makes it a lot easier. Again, this is how I work. Another fun thing, because I'm here in Yosemite, I kind of got to feel around in make sure I'm sitting in the chair. But that's the other nice thing is that you can do it standing. You can stand up for a while, or you can sit down. You can pull these things. I'm just grabbing the windows and pulling them over to me. Now that I'm gonna keep cranking, but I'm getting more comfortable. I can put my feet up. I could even recline back. I think you probably look at the back of my head, so I can kind of pull these things up if I'm getting really tired. Say I need to get more comfortable, um, but I need to keep going. I can kind of get into this reclining position. Just allows you a lot of flexibility. Where you might have the endurance to do 8 hours of lube charting on site. Now you can do more with 8 hours. Plus, you can keep going for longer. Get your feet up and do it that way. So a lot of fun doing this remotely as I've been describing. Okay, one of the things that I was worried about when I first started doing this was the accuracy. Can I be as accurate doing this virtually or remote as compared to the on-site? So obviously I was concerned about, using videos to find nameplates. Can I easily still check out bearing sizes and widths, diameters, those types of things? Checking out operating conditions, would I be able to get a feel for how contaminated the areas are, how hot it is, the water orientation, those types of things. And so I'm going to show you those. Just, I think a few of them you've already seen. I'm going to put on the mask and show that. And then I'll really quickly kind of wrap up with a few of the things that I found were actually improvements virtually versus on site. I'm going to go ahead and mask back up. I'll also pull up the shared screen again one more time. I'll see if I can get this. I don't think I have it mirroring right now, so you'll have to give me 30 seconds to do that again real quick. My apologies. There we go. It should be up. I think I said 30. Hopefully that was faster. Close those two videos, two modals. Okay, real quick. Go ahead and put myself back into my favorite environment. To bring that peaceful feeling. Okay, so what I wanted to show at this machine, this video particularly, was just some of the, I can see the bearing numbers there. I can also see, I believe he squares up on it right there. Later on, we go over to this one, capture the nameplate from the other side again there. I don't think they greased that motor, but it was a good one to practice on. So that was a really easy way to check out that. Here's me basically using the tools in the mask just to kind of do some virtual measuring of the bearing housings on this thing. And the fun thing is that it'll leave it there in a virtual experience even when you walk over to the other sides. So really fun using the mask measuring. The other thing that you may not have thought of is that it actually enables you to do some measurements from a slight distance. So if you're, if it's hot or you can't get a tape on it or you can't get to it because it's closed off or running, you can still do measurements. Here's me in another case, just kind of using this pointer stick. Obviously it is a ruler. So I was using it to point out the lube points, but also measure and capture those. There is audio on this that you can't hear where I'm calling out those sizes and kind of the operating conditions. Another thing that I really loved about this video was it showed me, I could see really well that, the operators were doing some washing. You can see the water there on the floor. So this machine was down. Obviously, they're spraying it off with water. There's water in the process. So I knew about that. And then you can kind of zoom in and see, what types of contamination there are on these different areas and bearings. obviously the orientation, simple to see, but you can also see where there's problems, what kind of buildup they're getting. So I felt like I was able to be just as accurate in a remote sense as I was um, on site. With this particular machine, I had kind of a fun story with the customer. They were reviewing the routes we built and some of the lube recommendations. The nice thing was on one of the bearings, they were worried maybe we'd be over greasing. So we went ahead together and did a FaceTime call. I just pulled him in. We did a FaceTime call. We were able to review some of the bearing sizes and the conditions of the bearing, and together, pulling up the video of the actual machine, it was really easy for us to kind of take the questions and come to a consensus on, the changes that we wanted to make or the refinements we wanted to make. Neither of us had to go back out on the floor. Nobody had to travel, and we were able to kind of refine and continuously improve. The other thing that I really liked about this method of going remote and virtual instead of on-site is that I had a lot of chances to get things right, and I could go through the machine several times. I remember with this machine, particularly, there was one lube point that I didn't find, even with the manual. I'll show you right here. When the video captured this lube block up here, I knew there was 2 lube points. I knew from the manual what those 2 lube points went to. But down here on the end of this rod end, I was looking for a lube point on the end of that brass, but I couldn't find it. And then watching the video, I could see that there's a lube point right next to it. So my hunch that that should be a grease lube point was confirmed when I went through it a second time. But just looking at it with the naked eye, I did not see the lube point. So being able to review the video multiple times allows you to see things that you've missed. So I think that's a huge benefit as well to being accurate. All right, just to conclude here real quick, wanted to review how you can save by using Redlist in the Apple Vision Pro. I do believe that your accuracy can increase as well, but the main idea is that you can reduce time on site by 5 to 10 times through the use of video, taking that in the spatial or virtual experience, which allows you to do the survey remotely. And then that cuts out the extra costs for food, travel, hotels. And then the second thing is obviously you should be able to do it faster by having your manuals open, your being there physically in the virtual sense with the equipment and having the app open right there. And the fact that this device tracks your eyes, watches your fingers, and you can do it sitting down, just gives you more stamina to go for longer periods of time. Should be able to get through that survey in a faster amount of time when you're remote. And then the third piece, I do believe you can be more accurate. Obviously, you can have multiple people taking video, and you can have an expert reviewing the data and processing it, so you could get you can kind of leverage your experts and get extremely accurate. And like I said, the videos are there for continuous improvement in the future and can be reviewed for anything that you've missed. But I really do believe that you can drive down the cost of your lube surveys. You can get this kicked off. You can do a lot of this yourself, and we're there to help you. So thanks for watching. Looking forward to talking to you and helping you test out some of these exciting new tools and toys that are coming out in the market.